Alderneys Key FM.
I hope I've now got somebody on the other end of the line. Good morning, William.
Good morning, Dougal, from beautiful Longy Common.
And what a glorious day it is.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Sorry, what a glorious day it is.
It's an absolutely fantastic day.
Yes, and I don't know if you heard that little message from Anne Hathaway. She said, but something else that is infectious is a smile.
Well, hallelujah to that.
Yes, indeed. Anyway, I think it's time how are we at the moment? Where are we at present?
Okay, well, I've been getting updates up till about 5 minutes ago about various matters, which I will deal with as and when. So if yesterday was a bit clunky, then I think today will be clunky plus. Okay, well, I'd like to start this morning by saying that we are still in the position of having no confirmed cases on the island. This is despite the fact that there are now quite a substantial number of tests outstanding. So we must continue to be cautious and behave as if the virus is here. We just don't know that it isn't here. Since the new restrictions came in yesterday, I'm pleased to say that there has been to a large degree of acceptance on the island that these measures are necessary and that people must abide by the new requirements to stay at home, except for an opportunity to go out some exercise once a day for up to 2 hours, and except for the necessity of shopping or collection of medicines. Now, I want to reiterate a point I made yesterday. Use the delivery services that our shops are providing if you can. This helps to reduce the risks of transmission of the virus. Of course, there will be times when you can't do this, but please think about what you need and put in a call or email to the shop you want to buy from. Now, inevitably, the announcement yesterday left some ambiguity in the air about which businesses can continue and which must close. And anyone who has been following the UK news will know that it isn't entirely clear there either. But remember, we are not the UK, and the Guernsey requirements are different. So there will be some more detailed guidance published today on the gov.gg website and on our States of Alderney website to clarify the way this applies to business in Alderney. So in brief, it is clear that our main grocery stores can remain open. Lecoq's, the Farm Shop and Jean stores, as can off-licenses. Businesses which sell consumer products which help with safety and sanitation. Similarly, the pharmacists will be open with revised opening hours between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. But please remember, they can deliver to you. Indeed, they would prefer to deliver to you because it reduces the risk of transmission of the virus to the pharmacy. In terms of transport, the harbour can still function as a port receiving goods together with Alderney Shipping and the freight companies who transfer goods from the harbour. The airport and Arinny can also continue, as can taxi services. The Island Medical Centre can continue to operate, and the Connaught Care Home and the Home Care and Meals on Wheels services. The banks, post office and petrol stations can stay open, and I'm pleased to say that public service broadcasters and mainstream news organisations such as Key FM are able to continue working too. Retailers who repair or service boats, cars and bikes can continue to operate, and retailers who provide essential items for the health and welfare of animals can also continue in business. Also, hardware stores that provide products for home and business maintenance can continue to operate. It is also clear that businesses which provide products that assist people and businesses to work from home can remain open. This includes retailers providing IT, phones, and carrying out repairs to those items. Now, if anyone listening has a business or works in a role that doesn't fall within the categories I have listed, they must close and stay at home. There are a couple of exceptions. One is seasonal horticulture, where critical work may be carried out as long as social distance can be maintained. I interpret critical to mean things like planting, nurturing and harvesting crops or removing a tree in a dangerous condition. The other exception is any business that is carrying out cleaning or hygiene related to activity for any essential business or service on island. Now, there was quite a lot of, we had a lot of inquiries yesterday about takeaways, and we have sought further guidance from Guernsey, and that guidance came through at about 10 to 9 this morning, and takeaways can operate, but on a delivery-only basis. So you will not be able to go and pick up your meal. It has to be delivered, and of course you have to observe social distancing when that happens. So that is something which has now been clarified, and this really is the way that the system works, that where we have an issue where there is perhaps some scope for confusion, then we escalate it to Guernsey, to the relevant committee, a discussion takes place, and we then get a view as to how we should implement it. So that just shows that not only does the process work, but it works very quickly. I'm sure there are people who will be saying, I could just do this work and keep some social distance, or the rules don't apply to me. Well, the rules do apply to you. And if your work isn't defined as essential, you must stop. I know that there will be other questions that arise, so please, if you are in any doubt, email the details of your situation to ceo@alderney.gov.gg. That is ceo@alderney.gov.gg, and we'll see if we can advise you. Now, I've already had a phone call this morning from somebody who was in that or had observed that situation where people thought that as long as they only kept to 2 people in a group, they could carry on with their businesses. Well, that is not true. I've given you a fairly exhaustive list of essential businesses, and if you do not fall within that category, you must stop working. It's as simple as that. Because if you continue to work, what you are doing is exposing yourself, your employees, and the community to the risk of infection. And when all this is over, we'll all look in the mirror and ask ourselves, did I do everything I could? We are in dialogue about whether the guidelines need further refinements. For example, now this in relation to the operation of takeaway food establishments. So I've had that information since I've had the last update this morning. So it just again demonstrates how quickly that happens. There are 1 or 2 other things that we've identified which we are still waiting for guidance on, and hopefully I'll be in a position to give you more information about those tomorrow. Now, just a couple of shorter items. First of all, I just wanted to say that the school remains open for the children of those critical workers who we need to continue doing their jobs. And it's important to note that the teachers and other staff in the school are working to provide that service, and that it will continue throughout the Easter holiday. These are exceptional times, and we shouldn't forget anyone who is doing their bit to keep the island functioning. So thank you to those at St Anne's School who are doing just that. Secondly, I wanted to say a big thank you to the volunteers who have already signed up to Alderney Spirit. We now have in excess of 120 volunteers, but we now need to try and get more people to offer their help, And because a number of businesses on the island will now we're having to close, then there may well be people there who are available to help out in the volunteer sector. So we're looking basically for people in the age group 30 to 50, and what we're looking for in particular are people who have a Category D license a Category D license, people who are fit and able to do manual work to keep our essential services going, for example, the harbour and public works, and we need healthcare professionals who have any nursing experience, mental health experience, who are able to help at the care home or the hospital. So these are our critical services which we can support and lessen the burden on those who are working tirelessly to deliver on our behalf. So how you do that is you can either email on alderneyspirit@outlook.com, alderneyspirit@outlook.com, or telephone 07781 440 269. 07781 440 269. Your contribution will be greatly appreciated. Now, if you have no support on the island from friends or family and need some help that's not already provided by the businesses on the island, or if you would just like somebody to have a chat with, then please phone 820003. That is 820003, and that's between the hours of 9 and 5. That is the civil service support for the Alderney Spirit Initiative. So next, the IMPO Green Waste and Recycling Facilities. The IMPO will be closed to all public traffic and users. The Green Waste Facility at Manet will remain open for the use of domestic householders only. Now, we've already had some complaints that yesterday a group of people was seen all talking together at the Green Waste Facility at Manet. If people cannot maintain social distancing whilst they are disposing of their green waste, then that facility will also be closed. This is a classic example of cooperation and supporting the state in trying to let life go on as it has done before, but of course that has to be subject to safeguards. The recycling facility at Bray will remain open. However, we would encourage residents to use local recycling points where additional bins will be provided. These arrangements are subject to change. When using these facilities, we ask that all guidance for the control of COVID-19 is followed to ensure the safety and well-being of our key worker staff and members of the general public. Please contact States Works if you have any issues. Now, the Connaught is now closed to all visitors. So that was a decision that was taken by Liz. She's in a very challenging position, as you will appreciate. So she has taken a view that for best to provide for the well-being of the residents, then that step had to be taken. I can also say that I am in regular contact with the Lieutenant Governor, so he will be kept very much in the loop because, of course, he always has a close eye on what goes on our island. So, I think, Dougal, that almost brings me to a close. Do you have anything that you want to
I think when you highlight about volunteers and that, that, William, is I did somebody an injustice the other day. I said I think they were delivering until 8 o'clock at night, and they were still delivering at 11 o'clock at night. And for all the volunteers all over the island, and there are too many to mention, thank you from the bottom of our hearts, because we're now all relying on you pretty much, and you will all keep us safe as well. The other thing is, with this particular interview, you can now listen. We try to get it uploaded as soon as we can onto the website. You can now also pick it up on YouTube by just clicking on the link, so you can get it via that system as well. And if all that fails, you can listen again at 9:15 this evening on our Listen Back service. So I think that's it from me, probably, William.
Well, I have to say, I have become a technology expert in a matter of days. I have to say, the facilities that, if I'm honest, I've looked down my nose at in the past are now proving to be absolutely vital, so that we are now all working from home, but yet we have the opportunity to have remote meetings where we can hold the same meeting remotely as we've been holding at the Harbour office. So, I mean, that's a fantastic thing. Now, one final thing I want to do, Dougal, if I may, is to attempt to read a press release that I put out on Monday, but because of the sheer volume of press releases that have been released since, I didn't want it to go under the radar.
Okay,
so,
that's fine.
I shall read this out. Forgive me if I get a bit emotional. It's from me, and it's called A View from the Front Line. I would like to take a moment to highlight the heroic efforts of those committed public servants who are working tirelessly to keep us all safe. I'm privileged to be able to observe professionalism of the highest order, delivered by a tightly knit group, so ably led by Andrew Mutter. From the unstinting efforts of our medical professions, led by the ever cool-headed Sally, our pharmacist Paul, through each of our emergency response teams, our airport and harbour offices, the police and border agency. Each and every one of these highly committed professionals are working 7 days a week, long hours in the most challenging of conditions. Although they have practiced for such an eventuality, nobody can contemplate how they will respond until faced with the stark reality. They have risen to the challenge in such a way as to inspire confidence in each and every one of us. I now turn to the engine room. All our efforts are coordinated and led by our CEO, Andrew Mutter. His qualifications to deal with such a challenge are second to none. He leads the team with quiet efficiency, inspiring confidence and respect from his dedicated and supportive delivery team. Personally, I am amazed on a daily basis for his capacity to calmly deal with whatever the day throws at him, never giving a hint of not being in complete control. We are privileged to have him at the controls at such a challenging time. All this whilst keeping the island running on a day-to-day basis. Nobody ever looks at the clock. Nobody leaves until all the day's loose ends have been tied up, and they all continue to deal with emails until they retire to bed, exhausted. So that team comprises of Andrew, Sue, Sally, Liz, and Laura. A small team, a tightly knit team, who are delivering and punching above what could reasonably be expected of anyone in public service. The daily operational meeting is the forum to exchange ideas, contribute to problem solving, and shape our response in a fast-moving, dynamic situation. It is only a great shame that not everybody can witness this process unfolding. I have written these words because it is not only important that the whole community is aware of the efforts and sacrifices that are being made on our behalf, but also because everyone involved in keeping us safe is entitled to the thanks and respect for their efforts. There are many more, not specifically mentioned here, but they know who they are. I'm privileged to observe all of this in action day by day. If you see them, please show your appreciation. Respecting social distance, it means a lot. The community is our inspiration. We will not let you down. Thank you.
Thank you, William. And my sentiments exactly. Everybody is just all pulling together and we're all in the right direction. And that is what's going to get us through. So, William, we will speak to you again because this is probably the first for you as well that we are doing it by a phone link. And it just proves, I think, that that works as well.
Well, to be honest, don't take this the wrong way, but I'd rather be looking out to see than at your ugly mush.
Yeah, I'll take that with the comments that it's made. So thank you very much for that, William.
Okay.
I look forward to speaking to you tomorrow from afar.
Okie dokie.
So from William and I for now.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Everybody.
Bye, William. Bye.
Alderneys Key